are checking rods, like stock, these are 6-7 rods. We go through and make sure they're straight, check the ends, make sure they're within spec, and then put new rod bolts in them for some of our HP Remans and HP Reman Extreme builds. So we just make sure we're starting out with the best that we can. Like sometimes you'll have them bent a little bit. You can't physically see it with your eye, so we have a fixture that we sweep it on and read, you know, how many thousandths it's shorter basically than our test rod that we have, known good rod. So that'll tell us if it's actually shrank, because when you bend it, obviously the two ends are going to be closer together.
How often do you guys find bent or bad rods?
Every day. I found 2 of them in this batch. So every time we check them, we find bad ones. Like I said, visually they looked fine, but on the thing they were bent like 5 thou.
And then what happens to a bent rod?
Throw them in the trash. We put the wrist pin in. That way it's always a constant, you know, we can measure off the top of the wrist pin here and swing it. Yeah, that one's right at 6 thousandths shorter than our test rod we have here. No, you physically can't see it. Like if you look down at it, it doesn't look like it's deformed at all, but it would just compress it just enough to, and maybe right there you can kind of see it swelled a little bit. But it takes a little bit better eye to see that kind of thing. That's why we've made fixtures that holds the big end and then a flat surface to swing it across. So then we have the dial indicator set up and zeroed out. We use the same one every time. That way we know it's consistent. That one was machine checked, made sure it was good and everything. And that one's about 4.5. I'd like to keep it under 2. And we check both sides just to make sure. Obviously this one already had a bad side, so it doesn't matter, but that's how we check the good ones too. And that side's 4.
What happened to that one?
I'm gonna guess it just got hot and didn't drop a seat. The head had a couple bent valves in it. Definitely had something go through. I don't know if maybe a turbo came apart on this engine. We have no, it was a core engine. They bought an engine, sent this one back in as a core. Head was junk, cracked. Obviously, we don't reuse pistons, so we don't care about those, but it was a 6-7, had different rods in it, so apparently somebody's already been in it, had ARP rod bolts, head studs, main studs, that kind of thing. So there's all of our other pistons that we just don't use anymore.
They get recycled, right?
Yes, yep, we sent them up to a recycling plant. This one definitely had a seat come out and go through it. Sort out our aluminum and our steel and send it up to a local recycling yard.